Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about this idea of the difference of two perfect squares. So a perfect square is anything where if we take the square root, we're going to get a whole number. All right, so numbers that are perfect squares are, just think of any number, right, that multiplies by itself to get another whole number. So for the square root of 9 is 3. So a perfect square is 9. Square root of 25 is 5. So a perfect square is 25, right? So the difference of two perfect squares is when I take x squared and I take away 9, I have a difference, which means subtract, of two perfect squares. And all you have to do for that is you just take the square root of each perfect square and you put them in two separate little parentheses, and one gets a plus and one gets a minus. And for today's lesson, we're going to just practice doing that over and over again, just until we get it, until we understand. So let's do a new one. So if I changes, so if I now go and I have four, oops, all right. So if I have 4x squared minus 16. Okay, so if I take the square root of 4x squared and 16, the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of x squared is just x. The square, and so I write 2x here also. The square root of 16 is 4, so 4. And now what I'm going to do is put a parentheses around both, right? Plus, minus. Doesn't matter the order, right? Just as long as we take the square roots. Let's do another one. So now I'm going to take the square 16 y to the fourth power minus 100. Okay. So the square root of each of these. What's the square root of 16? It's 4. What's the square root of y squared? Well, here's the deal, guys. Anything that, if it's an even exponent, you just divide it by 2, and that's the square root of it, okay? Why? Because when you take the square root of something, you're really, what you're really doing is saying 16y to the fourth to the 1/2 power, okay? So, and so if you do 16 to the 1/2, right, which is the square root, it's 4. And 4 times 1/2, right? If you remember your exponent rules from 8th grade, 4 times 1 over 2 is just divided by 2, so it becomes y squared. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, write 4y again, squared. And now for 100, it's 10. And okay. All right, so sorry about that. So let's go back to our pen. So the square root of 16 is 4. Square root of y to the fourth, remember, just divided by 2. Square root of 10, 100 is 10. And so now I just put a parentheses around, right? Plus, minus. Doesn't matter who gets the plus, who gets the minus, right? Commutative property means we can switch it. Let's do one more, and then we're done. All right, so our problem is 25, 25 w to the 6th power minus, right? Let's do 36. All right, so I take the square root of both sides. Now notice it has to have two terms, right? So and you have to check that they're perfect squares. So the square root of 25 is just 5. The square root of w to the 6th power is what? I'll give you a second to think about it. You just take 6 and divide it by 2. It's w power, right? And you write it twice. What's the square root of 36? 6. All right. Plus, minus. That's a w. Just so we're clear, they're both the same, right? W. So the answer is 5w to the 3rd power minus 6 times 5w to the 3rd power plus 6. Just fill in your guided notes for today, and you guys will have a set of problem sets, and then we'll do one new topic this week. And that's it. All right. Thanks. Have a good day.